It's Snowmageddon 24. Stanley Cups are flying off the shelves. And we'll talk about all that right after Morning Waffle. And we are back. I just found out that my co-hosts really don't know anything about this Stanley thing.
Well, I thought you were talking about Lord Stanley's Cup. Well, and I'm thinking it's a little bit early for that. That's like June, right?
Sure. I don't know. It's hockey.
It's
hockey.
It's the NBA and the NHL playoffs kind of come at the same time, and it's like, who cares? And then all of a sudden it's playoffs.
And then everybody cares. I'll take a look.
Except I don't.
Biscuit and gravy. Boy, it is, Beth.
Good morning, Beth.
Right,
it is biscuit and gravy kind of day. That sounds good.
It's the winter storm that never happened.
I'd take a heap and plate of B&Gs.
I think it's coming.
Is it coming?
It's coming.
Yeah.
My wife is not upset that they're not at school today, though. I'll tell you that.
We woke up rough yesterday morning, you know what I mean? And I was like, snow day tomorrow wouldn't be bad.
Be all right.
We had, like tears before school, and I was like, for some reason the kids are in a holiday hangover. I think they needed a day. But
aren't we all kind of in a holiday hangover?
Well,
a little bit.
We're moving the first of our 3 kids out of the house on Thursday.
Ooh.
And so she's excited to have a day to help him organize and
handy.
Plan and prepare for his departure to Kansas City.
Wow. Moving to KC.
Look,
did he
that's
transfer
great.
schools?
Transferred. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. From Evangel to Spurgeon College.
Very cool.
The undergrad of Midwestern Baptist Theological Seminary.
With a name like Spurgeon, it has to be good.
Yeah, for sure.
Can't go too
wrong. Have you seen their Spurgeon library that they have?
No. In fact, this is probably the first I've heard of Spurgeon College.
Well, this is incredible. The Spurgeon library, they already had more Spurgeon stuff than any other museum or any, the greatest collection of Spurgeon material. Yep. And then they just came into an even larger, massive, I'm out of words today. A bunch of materials.
A plethora.
I'm going to throw this out there.
And diaries and those sort of things.
And probably sound dumb. Who is Spurgeon?
Charles Spurgeon. Charles Haddon Spurgeon, the Prince of Preachers.
Prince of Preachers. I can't see. I just need to shut up.
The Prince
I'm
of
going to be over here
Preachers?
warming up my articulators.
He was.
When did he preach?
He preached in London in the 1800s.
Okay.
And just killed it. I mean, it was really good.
He just killed it.
They're like the 4 horsemen of the Reformation. He's one of them.
Okay,
You've got Luther, Calvin, Spurgeon, and Jonathan Edwards.
I probably heard something about Spurgeon in my Reformation and whatever history class that I took many moons ago, but that didn't stick for whatever reason.
There was a Mount Rushmore of Christian pastors. He'd be on it.
Spurgeon would be there.
Yeah.
Well, good for Spurgeon.
One of those guys who spoke truth in the midst of changing culture, during the period of enlightenment. And
that's good.
Was solid guy.
Struggled with depression his entire life, like crippling depression.
Very interesting.
And, no therapeutics, no treatment, no nothing for that. Just pray it through.
Yep.
Very interesting. Yep. Well, that's good. That's an big change for the fam.
So she has a day off to deal with that. So she's excited. That was my point.
And
that's cool.
Concurrently, we moved Jack, our youngest, into C of O.
You guys are kicking him out of the nest like fly birdies.
We still got 2 left that came back around. So.
Well, I mean, sometimes they circle back around.
I think they're on their way out.
I don't blame them though. No. I mean, it's a scary world out there.
And who can afford to move out?
Well, that's the problem.
And
yeah.
Lauren knows that as well as any of us, to find a place for a young person with a brand new job to afford a home, afford rent. It's tough.
I'm not real sure how you do that.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, you need to figure it out, Lauren.
Yeah. I'll get right on that.
Yeah, get on it. I got 2 more I want to get rid of at some point.
I mean, I will say, Saturday morning, Jared was out showing houses, and I was showing a house for him because he was out on like showing 7, right? And so I went over and showed a new house that came on the market in Rogersville that was in a lower price point, like $215. Multiple offers.
I was gonna say those have got to go
multiple offers.
Fast.
Yep.
It gone. So, and I mean, we didn't even have a chance at it, but it's one of those things that, people ask about the real estate market. It's still busy in some areas, some not so much, but changes all the time.
Hey, so speaking of changes, we've got some studio upgrades.
Upgrade.
Peter, you want to show those off for us?
Whoa.
Looky there.
Yeah, hey.
Am I there? Am I here?
Where'd I go?
We need camera 1, camera 2.
Yeah, I know. Where do I look?
So
I see a red light. I see a red light.
The symbol, yeah, there are red lights.
There is a red light.
Handy? Okay.
Well, that's fancy.
I didn't know that.
I don't know if it. Yeah, sure enough.
Back to the center.
Yeah, look at that. Red
That's
light.
cool.
Very cool. So.
Wow. Now I know where to look.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with my hands
there's
still, but I know where to
on the
look.
board, there's a fader button over on the right side. And
you can fade in and
if
out.
you'll notice, it was a hard cut between the camera angles. If you push the fade button,
You fade in.
Dissolves.
Peter's
the
like,
fade,
what's
you can
going to
find
happen
it.
if I push this?
and then now if you switch the cameras, it should be a little smoother transition.
Our producer should consider mime work. He's pretty good at it.
Never mind. We'll move on. But
I do want to circle back to the Stanley Cup thing.
Oh yeah, sorry. I took us off.
No, it's waffle.
We all
We're
did.
waffling.
So
yeah, for sure.
So it's not hockey.
It's not hockey. As Jesse's like, why are you talking about Stanley Cup? Hockey? No. Stanley Cup, Stanley, in our mind, Stanley is a green thermos that your dad or grandpa or you took to work, or the Deerwoods, the football game. Yeah, remember you went to a football game, you had one of those scratchy plaid wool blankets that like set up at the top of the closet because nobody really liked it. That came to the you sat on it at a football game, and you brought the green Stanley thermos. And here's my opinion on those. They used to be amazing.
Yeah.
And then no, they lost. There was a quality control issue. Your coffee didn't stay hot for that long.
Well, they changed what you could put in them. There was a government regulation.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Government screwed it up.
Stinking government.
I remember my dad had a big thermos, and it was glass lined.
Yes.
Like you could, if you jarred it too hard, you could break the
Yep,
liner.
I've broken one of those Stanley. Like you literally hear it.
Oh,
you shake
yeah.
It's
I think
it's done.
And it had a little cup that went on top of it. And I mean, that was a big deal when you got to like fill the Stanley thermos and take off with it, the green one. Never saw any other color.
But they weren't really a status symbol. It was kind of more like status quo.
Yeah.
You had a green Stanley thermos.
That's what you did.
Especially if you were into camping or hunting or whatever.
And then they went through a phase where they did not work well. I remember this because I bought one and it lost its seal quickly, which, I mean, that happens in cups like this. These thermos cups, they lose the seal, the gas goes out, and then it's done, is what I think happens. I don't know. I don't have any proof of that. So I will not be issued a correction, though, if I'm wrong. But so now this Stanley reinvented itself somehow and has come out with a larger mug with a handle that fits in a cup holder. It's a tumbler, but it's big.
With a straw.
It's a Whopper tumbler. And the ladies really seem to like it.
Yeah.
Well,
move over Yeti.
Clearly.
Go on,
Welcome
get
back,
Yeti.
Stanley.
Stanley, you're back. And maybe they fixed their seal issues. I don't know. Maybe they're making it better.
I don't think you have to now. I think once momentum gets going, it doesn't
doesn't
matter
really
what
matter.
the quality is.
Yeah.
And maybe they're great. And here's the thing. I don't think this is new. Because 5-6 years ago, my brother-in-law, who very metropolitan, lives in Chicago, he bought me like the retro Stanley deal, and it came with a Stanley like matching water bottle.
Oh,
same
okay.
color green, And so clearly all the hipsters were doing the Stanley
something
thing.
then. So there was a surge,
There was a surge, but now it's caught
Now
on.
it's
Isn't
pop
that how
culture.
it works, right? Hipsters hit it, and then all of a sudden some of those things catch on.
Whoa.
He found it.
He found
Whoa,
it.
I thought my
Scrolled
face
right
was
across.
moving.
Switchers there. Yeah. There's multiple different options he's got there too.
So here's my cautionary tale, though. I don't know a lot about the Stanley hype because I have a Yeti. It's small. It's about this size, and I like it. I used to carry a larger cup, and no particular reason other than the real estate company I worked for at the time got a bunch of these in and gave them out. And it wasn't this size. It was the one that fits in the cup holder but like bulges out and gets bigger so it holds a whole bunch. So I used to have that thing in my car all the time. I fill it up with water and ice at the beginning of the day, and I, in my car a lot, so I'd just drink water throughout the day. No joke, thing gave me tendinitis because it was so heavy. I am not joking. And my
bulked up on that arm?
Yeah, my kids would want to drink, and I'd weirdly hand it back to them, right? Be like, "Can I have a drink of water?"
Like this.
Yeah. Pretty much. And they're,
Mom, can you give me a drink?
Yeah.
Can you literally
can I baby bird let me pour the bucket. And so no joke, the thing gave me tendinitis. So I don't know if these ladies know what they're messing with, because that bout of tendinitis about wrecked me. It was a year-long process.
Have to have Mr. Producer find the thermostat.
I know it's hot in here.
I turned it down earlier.
Your heat works good, Ballard.
Yeah, my internal heat is kicking in. Metabolism's still kicking at 47.
All I know is that's the first. I saw the video of the basic white girls at the Target, and it was
fighting for their Stanley.
It was Cabbage Patch all over again. I mean, they were headed for it.
It's probably because they're from that generation. The ladies that are after the Stanleys right now may be the ones that wanted that Cabbage Patch Kid real bad.
Maybe.
I don't know. Anyway,
to me.
If anyone out there has a more in detailed depth, well, somebody posted a picture yesterday of a Stanley mug advertised on Walmart, screenshot, for $150.
What?
They ain't cheap, Ballard. That's the deal.
That's ridiculous.
Now I think
a $30 tumbler is $150.
I think that's a high price, but like
I thought $30 was high.
I think $50, $60, $70 is kind of.
I think it's worse than that. I think it's not just it's a Stanley mug. I think they're releasing like special edition Stanley mugs.
No.
Yeah.
I'm just saying
There's
it's
a
gonna give you
limited run,
tendinitis.
and they're it's even.
Are they like Cabbage? Like you got the Karen. You got the.
You definitely got the Karen.
Oh yeah.
What color is the Karen Stanley?
Oh, that is funny. I don't know.
I think it's blonde with brown chunks.
If any of our ew, it's got a sharp, angular bob. Anyway, well, I just pictured a Stanley mug with a little bob hair, like hair around it, like here be hair. Yeah. If anyone out there who's listening right now understands the Stanley hype, please let us know, because I'm not 100% on this one. I really don't know what's going on.
Well.
So this is one of those mornings, I think, when you just you have to have multiple sympathy for the folks that have to make those decisions about calling off school.
Oh yeah,
because,
that's bummer sandwich.
Left my wife at home in bed this morning because she's got a snow day because she's a teacher here in Rogersville, and walked out, ready to carefully walk to my truck.
Just wet.
And I'm like, it's 36 degrees. It's like, okay. So yeah, Beth, we're drinking out of I'm drinking out of Yeti.
I don't think mine's a Yeti. I think mine's a Polar or something.
Arctic is pretty good.
But I think
ARTIC, I use those too.
Yeah, I do think that's hard on the superintendents. Like I was shocked that Ozark also called it off early this morning. Springfield did as well.
I understand Springfield canceled. So
Amy likes her Tervis tumblers. Yep. Tervises were a big hit back when I was at Macy's.
Yeah, I think that was kind of a flash in the past.
It was a while ago. Yeah,
I remember those.
But they're good.
Seymour actually canceled last night.
Yeah, they noped out last night.
Yeah, I looked at that.
So, but we're a good company. They had some road issues yesterday. Yeah. Seymour lately has had. They've been in the swath that has caused them issue. That one night that it was snowing really hard, I'm trying to think of what it was. I went to Lambert's and we waited for an hour.
Friday, right?
This wasn't a Friday. It was like during Christmas break.
Oh, yeah.
And it was snowing really hard in Rogersville, but it really wasn't sticking. Well, Seymour was like covered. So Seymour's been in the path this year. They've been getting it. So they were slushy yesterday too.
I think what we got to understand is whoever's making those calls is doing the best they can predicting the future, and that's tough.
It's a not winnable situation.
Well, I got to say, I saw it all very differently until I had teenage drivers.
Yeah,
and now it's like, hey, you can call that off. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, let's help my insurance here, and let's not do that.
No kidding.
Well, and I mean, I don't think people's driving is improving at all. I see lots of really, I'm trying to think of the word I'm trying to use, crazy for the best.
Careless, reckless,
Careless,
imprudent.
Not aware of other people's lives around them being important type of driving right now.
100%.
Reckless. Yeah. So I kind of get it. And I'm supposed to go into Springfield today for an appointment. And I'm like,
Me too.
Yeah, me too.
Hopefully, like, everybody got the memo and just kind of stays home, and it'll be like one of those
we'll see.
Springfield driving days where the roads are open.
I do agree with that. It did melt overnight because when I went to the grocery store at like 5:30, after that my road was a little slushy and then it's melted.
Well, and I guess it's coming. Like today,
More's
it's
coming,
going to get cold. It's going to rain. It's going to snow today.
I think by this evening it might start freezing rain a bit.
A little.
Yeah,
Ooh.
well, it might start this afternoon.
Yeah.
Which is really the reason I think we've got to call off school.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what's going to happen this afternoon.
Well, and now that they have the AMI day option for those who don't have kids in school that are watching, they have packets that you do at home.
Yes.
I'm not familiar with how that works for like the older kids, but for my kids, it's really been a good blessing.
With
It's
the older
good.
kids, teachers are available.
Like available and engaged.
Yeah, they have to be engaged and online in case the kids need help with their online school.
I think the primary elementary teachers are available. They have like an hour or two or something that they'll talk about. But the packets have been very reasonable. You know, they haven't bothered me at all. We'll see. I'll do a 4th grade packet for the first time this year.
Now, I'm assuming those packets are electronically delivered.
No, they're paper.
They're paper?
They're paper
Is it not
packets.
both?
How do you get them?
They send them home. Yeah, Amy, it's so much fun. I think it does get a little dicier the older years.
So
but
when do they send them home?
They
Like
send
at
them
the
home
beginning of the
weeks
year?
ago.
Okay.
So several weeks. The first.
All the teachers have to be prepared and have something ready to
when
go.
there's crisp
I lost
air.
my packet.
Well, they come home in a manila envelope,
Yeah.
and it says, "Don't lose this," or you can print them off, or they can like email them to you. And I mean, they're in such a way that you don't have to do them on that piece of paper. So if the teacher emailed you the packet, you could go through it and write it on a scratch piece of paper or whatever.
There's no excuse.
I will say this is one of the good outcomes.
I agree.
After 2020,
It's a good thing from COVID.
We learned
yeah.
how to do this, and so now kids don't have to go to school through June.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they've missed.
Now, my
Snow
rebuttal
days.
is, though, when it's truly, digital copy, when it's truly a snow day, like when you wake up and there's 6 inches on the ground, and you want to sled.
Go sled.
Go sled. The AMI packets kind of suck then.
Yeah.
But
Let that wait.
at the same time, I get it.
They're not all day. They're not a day's worth of work.
No, they're not a day's
couple
worth of work.
hours,
They're
is my
very
understanding.
reasonable, and my girls have always done real well with them. But when the most difficult time we've had with them is when I think the first or second year it happened, we did have a pretty large chunk of snow days, and day 3 or 4 were like,
Okay.
I've had about enough.
Let's go sledding, kids. I'm going to fill up the Stanley with
They're-
some hot cocoa. Let's go outside.
Evie last night goes, I hope we have a snow day, and I wake up and there's hot chocolate. I'm like, there's never.
Because Santa will bring it.
I'm like, there's never been hot chocolate when you've woke up.
No, she was just dropping a hint, Mom.
Yeah,
There needs to
Mom.
be a snow day character. Maybe it's Jack Frost.
Yeah,
Like
there you go.
Snow day, Jack Frost is going to show
Shows
up.
up.
That
with
brings
hot
you
cocoa.
with hot cocoa. I was like, yeah, I'd like to wake up with a mug of hot cocoa too.
I'd like to wake up every morning with the coffee already brewed. And,
Wouldn't that be
The
fantastic?
pour over has been made, and it's by my bedside.
I think my parents used to have the Mr. Coffee that had a timer on it.
Timer,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Load it the night
Oh,
before,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
it would kick in about 6 a.m. and
Smell
wake
it
up to
brewing
the-
when
I'm like a
Folgers was in your
chemist.
cup.
I grind, and I've got my some
You could go with the what's his name? The Office. Michael Scott. Michael Scott. Yeah, he kept the George Foreman grill by his bed and made bacon. Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, it would cook bacon for him.
have to get
He
out of
burned
bed.
his foot on it.
That's right. Oh, I love The Office. We still watch a lot of The Office. It's good stuff.
It's been several years since I've watched it through. It
It's
may be
good
time
stuff.
To bring that back.
It's
again.
good stuff.
It is
But
good stuff.
well, no, it would be nice to have the coffee that you want, right? Because it's not just coffee;
Yeah,
it's
I know,
your coffee, brewed fresh, cup on your nightstand when you wake up. Be fantastic. That's what robots are going to do.
That's what robot. Yeah.
Yeah, for about 4 or 5 years, and then they're like, "You make me coffee."
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was
Or
just.
make
Or I'll kill you.
Okay. I think maybe you should be making coffee. Why am I doing all
Don't
the
kill me, house robot.
It's so creepy. It's going to happen.
It is. I know. It's for laughing now. We're not going to be laughing when we're doing the waffle in 10 years. I guess.
The cameras will be threatening us. I was like, keep talking. Okay.
Talk about how nice robots are. It's like robot propaganda. The future of the waffle. I love
Robot propaganda.
Oh, good times. Oh, man.
What? PTA's got a thing coming up.
Yes.
They sometimes deliver.
I don't know.
I'm sorry, Beth.
I don't know, Beth. You'll have to clarify for us.
Yep. There's a
She's asking something specific, and I bet it auto-corrected.
yeah, I'll bet it did.
PTA
robots.
does.
Robots got her.
Stinking robots. They're already starting their realm.
Autocorrect.
It's robotic. PTA is doing our Valentine's dance this year. The theme is Stars and Hearts, A Night in Hollywood, because that's a lot of fun theme for Valentine's dance. We'll have a red carpet, and it's going to be on, I'm going to say it wrong. Hold on. Let me look at my calendar. We did this last year for the first time, and it was an absolute blast. It's the 9th.
Go.
Yeah, sorry, Beth.
Story time.
You
deliver.
can order online now, which is a big step in the right direction, but we're not yet putting the coffee on your nightstand.
Well,
Might have to call DoorDash for that.
I'm envisioning like a coffee delivery guy trying to like creep into somebody's house.
Tiptoe
and
in,
like,
being quiet.
Yeah.
Just here for the coffee. Don't mind me.
There's a dog in the corner.
Which is why we'll need to bring bacon with us.
Yes,
Bring
throw the
bacon
bacon.
for the dog.
This is the Hunger Games. That's how the Hunger Games starts.
All right.
Oh, man.
February 9th, isn't it?
February 9th, 8 to 8 p.m. We haven't put tickets for sale yet. We have to do online tickets only this year because we have to cap at 525 tickets. Last year, we didn't do a cap because it was the first time we did it, so we didn't know. No cap. And it was no cap, a little stressful because the number kept growing and growing and growing, and we sold like 600 tickets.
Oh, boy.
And we're like, oh, no. It's a lot of people. So we're capping it at 525 this year, but soon there will be more
525,
information.
no cap.
525,
Cap,
no cap.
no cap.
Cap, no cap.
Yeah, that's it.
Where's my Stanley?
Now, you have to bring a student, is that right?
You can't just show up at the dance as an adult. No, it's.
Hey, I'm here with my Stanley. Let's dance.
Can I get a ticket for my Stanley?
I'm just here to bring coffee.
Yes, you have to show up with an adult. We had kind of a funny
An adult with a child.
with a child. The adult and child have to be together. We had kind of a funny
Any
snafu.
random child will do.
Yeah,
or does
just
it need to be
children are
my
from the
child?
street.
You can't just make it like a date night for you and your spouse.
No, it's a kids dance. I mean,
I
it is
see.
a kids dance. Yeah, it's
I
not.
will say, I don't think that was clear from the ad that I saw until I saw the little blip about you must bring a student.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Well, and I mean, the platforms that it got put out on is PTA platform. Yeah.
Because I read it and I thought, oh, that I'd
Oh,
like to support the
community
I might-
dance,
I might,
yeah.
I might do that. I might
Yeah.
go to that. Now I'm like,
You
so
can volunteer there if you want to show up.
Well, I don't want to volunteer.
Yeah.
But no, we did have kind of a funny snafu last year. Some sixth graders got wind of this. And I mean, it's for like pre-K through sixth grade students. But some sixth graders started being like, hey, we don't have to bring a parent. We're like, no, yeah, you do. You have to show up with a parent or guardian.
do the
Like,
dance.
you can't just show up
Go
sixth
with your girlfriend.
graders.
Your sixth grade girlfriend.
And I'm like, we don't need sixth graders plus pre-K kids
Yeah,
loose together.
That's not good.
Baby.
That's not good.
No, so that was kind of funny though, because then we had to be like, no, you have to have a parent. We had to send out multiple messages.
Love it.
Yeah,
Love it.
good times.
I feel like the vaping fad is kind of gone. I don't
No,
know.
it's
where-
not.
It's
No,
not.
is it not?
It's just not
I
talked
feel
about
like
as
I
much.
used to see it everywhere. It's like
Yeah.
everywhere there's somebody with
Yeah.
a vape pen or whatever. Now
No.
I feel like I don't ever see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, in
anymore.
fact, I know of some parents that recently just went to the school and said, hey, more needs to be done here.
I heard they've got ones that look like highlighters,
Yeah,
so they've got them in
it's-
school, and
Oh, clever.
I mean that was
basically, if you, I'm told when you go into the bathroom,
it's just Vape City.
you just want to throw up because it's a mixture of strawberry shortcake and peaches and cream and
Urine and feces.
and apple cinnamon.
Oh, and teenage hormones, gross,
yeah.
yucko.
That
Yeah.
sounds terrible.
That smells like the worst smell
Okay.
ever.
Yeah. So anyway, they're trying to crack down on it, but it has been an issue. It's an ongoing issue.
well, and I guess it's worse now because
There are other chemicals that can be put in them.
Yeah, there are, and they're
And
readily
they're
available.
Readily available, yeah, because
Oh gosh,
we have a dispensary on every corner.
Well, and that's really frustrating too, because we talked to the kids a lot about like drugs and alcohol, because I mean it's already been brought up to them at a young age in school about being aware of what can happen if you abuse drugs and alcohol. So we talk about it regularly in our household, and the other day. And I've really leaned towards you can't just kind of experiment with drugs anymore because now we have this thing called fentanyl that literally can kill you the first time you use it, right?
Yeah.
And it has. It's killed teenagers in this area.
Cousin to that.
It's horrible. It's horrible. So things are a little bit different than they used to be. And so we talk a lot about that there's it's really hard to get by with experimental drug use now. And that used to be things that lots of people did, and it was okay, but it wasn't.
Right.
But
you survived.
You survived with, who knows what sort of effects. But now it's really not okay. You know what I mean? So we talk about that, but turns out really hadn't covered marijuana with them. And I said something about marijuana, and they're like, well, what's that? I'm like, hey, what? Have you not been explaining what that is? I found it really hard to explain what it is because now there's dispensaries everywhere. Yeah.
It's brownies, it's gummies, it's
and it's legal but not legal,
right?
And so it was a very complicated conversation with my kids. I really don't think I did a very good job on it because I'm like, well, it's a plant and it's legal but not legal, and
I think you have to explain it like alcohol. It's legal.
Yeah, I think I ultimately lumped it with tobacco and alcohol. It's not good for you. It's technically legal in Missouri, but it's, I don't know. It's a mess.
It is a mess. That's for sure true. It's
it's like a priorities thing. Like, let's get our priorities straight. But I have that issue on a lot of things.
Fun conversations.
Yeah, good times. Good times.
Well, you're having a party, and bring your kids.
February 9th.
February 9th.
It'll be fun, and we will not.
Father, daughter, mother, daughter.
There will not be vaping in the bathrooms.
All the above.
That's not happening, but it will be a really fun event. And this was a great time last year because, you can turn it into a father-daughter thing or mother-son thing. You can come with the whole family. Grandma can take the kids. It was really neat last year.
I miss those. My daughter, she warmed my heart. She didn't mean it, but she bought her homecoming dress or prom dress. I don't remember. She goes, Dad, do you want to go with me? Just make it like when we used to do the father-daughter dates. And I'm like, it's because of my dancing. So amazing, right?
It's so amazing.
She laughed. But
I
think that was her way of saying boys are dumb. And that also warmed my heart that she's piecing that together, that high school boys aren't worth her time.
Yep.
So
probably wise beyond her years at that point.
Well, I hope so.
I think I remember last year there was a little controversy because it wasn't just a mother-son or father-daughter.
Oh
thing,
yeah,
and it was, we got past all that.
Well, this the whole jump to conclusions thing. It's like, no, no, and people don't put enough time to just research something before they spew an opinion on Facebook or wherever. Yeah.
Here's my preference. Why did you mess with it?
Yeah. And a perfect example is we really wanted, and ultimately PTA did it because of we just have a lack of volunteers. We have a great turnout of parents that show up to help with things. What the constant struggle with all these volunteer organizations is to get the day-to-day activity people lined up. Yeah. Like if you put a call out like, hey, we need 10 volunteers to show up at this classroom to help with this event, we will absolutely get that filled, no problem. But the issue is we can't hardly get the officers, the people who have to really pretty well day-to-day run the organization. Yeah. And so we tried to, we wanted to add a free movie night in January because it's kind of a weird time of year. There's not a lot of, I say there's not a lot of activities, but I honestly think people are filled with activities all the time. And we started trying to sort out the logistics of that. And we've got Valentine's Dance coming up. And then right after that, we've got Booster. So we've already got a lot of events that we're planning for. And we're like, how do we do this? And then where do we do this? If we do it at the school, we're going to have custodians stay. They're overworked and there's not enough of them. Mm-hmm. And so how are we going to do this, right? And we just had to scrap it because we checked with a movie theater in Springfield, and it was going to be like $2,200 for 146 people. I'm like, well, no. Wow. If it was 500 people, okay, but yeah. So it was just, I don't know.
Okay, I have to read this. The year MJ was on the ballot, I took brownies for a snack, poll worker, to the polling place, pre-packed, thought better than to take homemade, and a policeman came through the line, offered him one, luckily a sense of humor.
That's funny.
Edibles, huh?
It took me to MJ marijuana. I didn't get the marijuana until the
Mary
end of that.
Jane.
Not Michael Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
That's funny. That
or
is funny.
Spider-Man's girlfriend.
Poll workers, those are volunteer people
Yeah, that's right.
who volunteer their time, I'd say.
Some of them are actually elected.
Really?
Yeah, committeemen. Yeah, committeewomen.
Interesting.
Yeah, those are elected
I
positions.
didn't know that
you can
either.
Run for your Republican or Democrat committee person for your ward.
I don't think I've
And
ever
then I
voted
think
for
you
one of
are the
those.
person that has to arrange
Arrange
either
the
be a poll worker
volunteers.
or arrange that.
That sounds awful.
That sounds like
that is
the
an
worst.
educated guess on my part that I just spewed out there for the world to accept as
From
gospel truth.
a non-organizer, administrator, that's not the job for me.
No.
That sounds awful. One of my least favorite parts of ministry is asking people to volunteer for things. Like, hey, can you come do this?
I'm not good at it
But
either.
here's the thing.
Yes, you are. You're good at it. You
Well,
hate doing it, but you're
I
good
don't.
at it.
Yeah, I don't enjoy it, but
as
I
a
could do
whole,
it.
I don't think that we're busy people. I really don't think we are. I think we have a lot of things we fill our time with
Yeah,
that are not necessary.
Yeah.
I
And they're
agree.
choices, and we just need to make some different choices sometimes. And sometimes that I don't know of any elected. Yeah, I know that in Webster County they elect.
They elect them.
Yeah,
I bet it's one of those
'cause I've
things
seen
you
it
don't.
on the ballot.
I bet you don't see it on the ballot much because it
Nobody
probably
runs
is
for it.
rarely contested.
Yeah,
would be
right.
my guess, and they probably just put their name on the ballot, and you're like, "What is that?"
Yep.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Well, check it out next time.
I do.
I think to your point, like,
Yeah.
we have been working over the last several years to simplify our life. So,
Yeah.
like the idea that the holidays should become stressful is just dumb to me.
crazy.
So we've found ways to really just simplify. Have some of those like church staff party things like that. We do it early in the month.
Yeah.
And then we just have learned to say no to a lot of things. Like we just can't be at everything, and we're not going to feel guilty about it. So we pick the main things you got to be a part of, and
Yeah.
we're not going to clutter our lives with a bunch of stuff just for the sake of filling up the calendar.
Yeah.
I just think that there's a lot of kind of like this Stanley mug, the things that you have to do. Like, I have to watch that TV show. I have to watch, everybody's seen the movie.
Yeah.
I need to see
Yeah.
the movie.
Yeah.
Everybody watches the show. I need to watch that show. So I'm going to ask Stan, okay, yeah, cool, let me know.
Ask him if he knows about Stanley mugs too.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe it's his mug. Anyway.
Stan, is it your mug?
I just think there's things that we think we need to do, have to do, that we don't.
I agree. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of distractions.
Well, I mean, we've become an online community, right, in the last 20-something years. And so we didn't used to feel that pressure because we didn't know that this
no
was
clue
going
what was
on.
going
you
on.
know, like,
You got to keep up with your social media.
right, and so
didn't do that.
Right, and so now you see
Yeah.
everybody else is doing this, and you learn of this event that you didn't even know happened before, and now you feel this social pressure to go be a part of it. And
yeah.
it's both sides, right, of the coin. Like in some ways, great. I'm more informed. I didn't know they did that. Now I want to be a part of it. That can be good, but you don't have to be a part of everything.
Who'd ever heard of FOMO before Facebook?
Right.
Yeah, it didn't exist
Yeah.
because you didn't know.
We were
fear
like,
of
I
missing out if
didn't
you
know
don't know what
anything
that
about
means.
that event.
FOMO, fear of missing out. Yeah. Well, speaking of, there was a fun event last year that the LR Foundation put on that I got to go to, and I'm wondering if we're doing that again. I haven't heard about that coming up this year, but if it is, we'd love to know about it. We'd love to help promote it, and probably like to go. It was
Yeah.
a lot of fun. It was a good event. So, doing all that.
All right.
It's good times. Well, it's getting. I feel like January is clipping by really fast, and
Spring is coming.
Spring is coming. That's exciting.
Coming tomorrow for me. It's 65 and sunny in Anaheim.
Did you?
today, and
Okay,
that's where
so
I'm
you
going
haven't
tomorrow.
gone yet.
I'm going tomorrow.
Okay, I was gonna. I thought in my mind you had already gone, but you're
65
going
and
tomorrow.
sunny sounds pretty
When are you
great.
coming back?
I'll be back Saturday.
Okay, so you'll be here Tuesday.
We're anxious to hear a report from California.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I'll be at a soccer coaches convention. I'll be in,
Oh, okay.
I'll be in the Anaheim Convention Center across the street from Disneyland.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
You can peek over the fence.
right.
Yeah.
I've been there once. I was in 8th grade, and I was greatly underwhelmed. I remember thinking, I think Silver City's better than Disneyland.
I went. To,
I think it's expanded now.
Yeah.
But it wasn't much.
Well, there's now the California Adventure Park. Or did they close that?
I don't know.
There was a whole thing down there, California. They had the big bear mountain with the bear, those shaped like a bear on it, I think.
I could care less about Disney these
Never been
days.
to
so-
Disneyland.
Yeah.
I've never been to Disney World.
Been to Disney World.
I've never been
3 or
to any
4
of it.
times.
I've never been to any of it.
You got to tell it like it is. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
It's a lot of fun. And I mean, I haven't been in the last Well,
Here's
we went
my-
down for a couple taekwondo tournaments at the ESPN complex, and it was fine. There wasn't any stuff, but I wouldn't go now.
We went to Silver Dollar City over Christmas. We hadn't been for several years, so I didn't have season passes. I forked out $400 for 4 tickets and the tasting pass, which was tasting pass was definitely worth it.
Yes, it is.
And I stood in line a lot. And while I was standing in line, I'm like, I spent $400, and I had a wonderful time riding Fire in the Hole for the last time. It was awesome.
I really wish I'd have done that this
It was
summer.
awesome. Me and Jesse, the girls, loved going through the cave. Most people don't do that, though, when they go to Silver Dollar City, I don't think.
It's kind of a forgotten little thing.
Yeah, we loved going through the cave, which we had to wait in line 45 minutes for the cave, and we had to wait in line 35 minutes for a corn dog, or we didn't even get a corn dog. We got something else, and I had to wait in line. And I just kind of it kind of broke me. Because, there's a number that it makes sense at, and at $400 doesn't make sense anymore for me to spend a lot of my day waiting in line. And the lights were beautiful.
You could have bought like 3 Stanley Cups for that.
Yeah. Thunderation was awesome.
Time Traveler's good.
Yeah, we couldn't. The girls aren't big enough to ride the big rides, so we can. And Clara just got big enough to ride Thunderation, and so it ultimately changed my vacation plans for the summer because I thought I would like to consider going to Disney, and then because that's what I've heard of Disney, that it is amazing, but you wait so much in lines.
For a family of 4, I mean, you're spending thousands of dollars, right? And then and then you need to spend a little more for the line pass thing, right?
The fast pass.
Yes, and I mean, for a family of 4 to go to Disney and stay on the park, I think you're looking at
$10,000.
You can easily spend that. I think you can get it done for $5,000, and I don't think that's going to be with any extras.
Yeah. It depends on where you're staying. They've got the economy stays, and then they've got the $1,000 night suites that you can stay into, Grand Floridian.
And the Safari. And
I'm just so we've booked a totally different trip. I'm excited about it. We're going to go to Canada. We're going to go to Whistler, British Columbia.
Canada?
Yeah, and see the sights because, I mean, I'm not going to be waiting in line there. I'm going to be looking at mountains and beautiful things.
Canada sounds like fun in the summer.
That's what I thought.
You're going west?
In the summer.
What mountains? If you're going to
British
Columbia?
So you go to Vancouver.
Yeah.
And then you go about 2 hours north.
Nice.
So I'm excited. I'm pumped. Yeah.
We're thinking about going to Maine this summer.
We were talking about
I think Maine would be a good trip.
We're talking about taking a trip out north.
I've heard it's
all the way to
amazing.
Maine or not, but
get some lobster, and some seafood.
Yeah.
And some
I have heard
crab.
nothing but good things about Maine.
I'm looking forward.
I mean,
to
I
it.
wouldn't go into a shop and debate politics with somebody in Maine. That probably wouldn't be
I'll
great
keep
for
that
you.
in mind.
But no, I've
your
heard.
flags.
Yeah, I've heard Maine is amazing.
I'll wear my MAGA hat when I go.
That God, triggered. But that would be a neat trip. Yeah. So
But I'll have to probably unload some things before I go to.
yeah.
Especially some of the states I have to drive through. If we drive,
Oh, yeah,
we'll probably drive.
we're going to drive.
We'll probably drive it. Yeah,
That's-
we like to road trip.
I do. Shane is like, why do you want to be in the car that long? I'm like,
Oh,
if
I
I'm
was
going to be
like,
in the car that long, I want to be in the car with
But, you
you.
know,
And
if
she
you're
looked at me
taking
like, you're an idiot.
Taking a cross country trip in the car, you see so many more things.
You do see
and you
so
can
much.
Stop, you can go, well, that looks interesting. I'm
let's
going to stop there.
It's
Yeah.
the world's largest ball of wax.
Yeah.
Beth says Maine's awesome. Get
Tell
the
me you got that
lobster.
reference. You got that reference.
Yeah.
Yes.
Largest ball of yarn. sorry.
Yarn.
Like the biggest ball of twine in Minnesota.
I
Weird Al song.
I had a brief moment. Well, I was
National Anthem.
National
Anthem,
Yeah.
while I was looking at flights to Vancouver, I had a brief moment of thinking, well, we could drive. I Google mapped
gosh.
it 32 hours.
yeah.
It's a bit of a haul.
Yeah.
And I was like, how do all these dudes go to Canada to hunt? I was like, what?
They drive solid. Just they trade off.
Oh, I know. They drive all day and all night. I was 32 hours.
We used to drive to Canada, but it was international
yeah.
falls and up. So, but still, I mean, you're looking at 14, 16 hours. You know.
I've been to Canada near Detroit. I can't remember I can't remember the name of the town. Like you just cross the border and there's like casinos and stuff you can go to when you're 19 or whatever. And I did
Well, you're
that
close to Toronto when you go.
when you're
to
in the Detroit area.
Detroit area.
I
You
drove
gotta
to
go up
remember.
over a little
Chicago
bit.
one time, and it was about 8 or 9 hours, which is about the same as it gets to New Orleans. And
Yeah.
that's you can drive that in a day. That's no big deal.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
I figure it'll be a 2, maybe 3 day drive to get to Maine.
But you'll see a lot of pretty stuff.
Yeah,
think so.
Like we're gonna we'll go to
Yeah.
Chicago first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a long route, but her brother, Shayna's brother's up
Sure.
there, so we'll stay a couple days. and then we'll start our trip over through Detroit. And
I enjoyed our drive
New
that I
York.
took several years ago to Pennsylvania, and I don't know if you kind of go that way and then jog more north to get to Maine.
go any way you want.
I don't know how that works,
That's the
but
great thing.
there was a lot of neat things to see on that. So I enjoyed the Northeast.
All right. Well, we're making our plans right
Making
It's
plans.
gonna be fun.
Let us know where you're going on vacation.
Yeah.
And send us pictures.
And send us more information about the Stanley
Be
situation.
interested to know. But,
Or Stanley's Cup.
Until then, we'll sign off for this week. And
Drive
we'll be back next
safe?
Tuesday with drive safe. Yeah, be careful this afternoon.
Peace out.
More waffle next week.